On February 9, 2025, President Donald Trump made headlines by officially assigning Elon Musk the responsibility of leading an initiative named the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE). This initiative aims to audit and manage major federal agencies, specifically the FBI, CIA, and the Pentagon, with Musk empowered to hire 45 new agents of his choosing. The directive comes amid a broader effort by the Trump administration to reduce government waste and inefficiency, and it has generated both support and significant controversy. Background and context. The establishment of DOGE follows a series of drastic measures initiated by the Trump administration since it took office. On January 8, 2025, the administration made headlines by issuing buyout offers to over 2 million federal workers, including those within the CIA. This move was part of a broader attempt to downsize the federal workforce, a strategy that was met with immediate backlash from labor unions and civil service advocates. On February 2, Musk announced plans to shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID), a decision that alarmed humanitarian groups and raised questions about the future of U.S. foreign aid. The initiative was perceived as a radical shift in U.S. policy regarding international support and aid distribution. Key developments and controversies. Legal challenges. Following the announcement of the buyout offers, a federal judge temporarily blocked the initiative after unions filed a lawsuit. Legal issues continued to mount as Musk's team sought access to various federal data systems, including those at the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) for safety upgrades and the Treasury Department for financial oversight. A New York federal judge issued a restraining order preventing DOGE from accessing sensitive taxpayer information. Internal controversies. Musk's DOGE faced internal turmoil when Marco Velez, a member of the team, resigned amid allegations of posting racist comments online. Musk's suggestion to reinstate Velez sparked outrage and highlighted the inexperienced nature of many DOGE personnel, raising concerns about their capacity to effectively manage and audit federal agencies. Focus on major federal agencies. Trump's confirmation that DOGE would scrutinize the Pentagon and the Department of Education indicated a broad ambition to reshape federal operations. Trump asserted that Musk's team had already uncovered significant waste and fraud within federal agencies, fueling Musk's reputation as a cost-cutting innovator. However, critics pointed out potential conflicts of interest, particularly given Musk's substantial contracts with the Defense Department through his companies like SpaceX. Public and political reactions. The response to DOGE's formation was sharply divided. Supporters lauded Musk's approach as a bold move toward making government more efficient, while detractors decried it as an assault on civil service protections and a step toward dismantling vital federal functions. Democratic lawmakers and labor unions organized protests against DOGE's actions, arguing that the initiative disregarded established legal frameworks and undermined democratic accountability. Conclusion. The establishment of the Department of Government Efficiency under Elon Musk has emerged as one of the most contentious developments of the Trump administration's second term. With ambitious goals to audit and potentially overhaul federal agencies, the initiative raises critical questions about governance, accountability, and the role of private individuals in public administration. As legal challenges continue to mount and public scrutiny intensifies, the future of DOGE and its impact on the federal landscape remains uncertain. The initiative signifies a pivotal moment in U.S. governance, reflecting broader themes of efficiency, accountability, and the ongoing debate over the size and role of government in American society. The counterintuitive information in the provided content revolves around the unexpected alignment of business and government, particularly how a private sector leader like Elon Musk is being entrusted with significant oversight responsibilities traditionally held by seasoned public servants. Here are some points of interest. 1. Businessman as government overseer. It is unconventional for a business figure, especially one with extensive commercial interests in defense and aerospace, to be given the authority to audit and manage federal agencies like the FBI, CIA, and Pentagon. This challenges the traditional separation of private enterprise and public governance. 2. inexperienced personnel in government roles. Musk's team largely consists of individuals without prior government experience. While this might suggest a fresh perspective, it raises concerns about their capacity to navigate the complexities of federal regulations and operations, leading to skepticism about their effectiveness. 3. Legal challenges versus aggressive action. Despite facing multiple legal challenges, including temporary restraining orders from federal judges, both Trump and Musk show little sign of being deterred. This behavior contradicts typical bureaucratic responses, which often involve caution and compliance with judicial decisions. 4. Conflicts of interest. Musk's extensive contracts with the Pentagon raise significant ethical concerns. The expectation that he can objectively audit an agency where his companies are heavily invested is counter to established norms governing conflicts of interest. The administration's dismissal of these concerns reflects a shift in how such conflicts are perceived and managed. 5. Dismantling federal agencies. The plan to dismantle or significantly alter key government programs, including USAID and diversity initiatives, is a stark departure from the traditional role of government agencies, which have historically aimed to expand services and protections. This shift could be seen as counterintuitive to the foundational principles of government service. 6. Public reaction and protests. The substantial backlash from labor unions, Democrats, and civil rights groups is indicative of the broader societal conflict over the role of government versus private enterprise. The protests against DOGE's initiatives highlight a disconnect between the administration's actions and public sentiment, particularly regarding social equity programs. 7. Trump's support for Musk amid controversy. Trump's unwavering support for Musk, particularly in light of scandals involving his aides, is counterintuitive in the context of political accountability. This dynamic illustrates a potential prioritization of loyalty and personal relationships over traditional political norms, which often call for more accountability from officials. These points collectively illustrate a landscape where traditional boundaries between business and government are being blurred, raising questions about the implications for democracy, governance, and public service. In the report regarding President Trump's establishment of the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE led by Elon Musk, several critical yet subtle aspects warrant attention, particularly concerning the broader implications of this initiative on governance, civil service, and legal integrity. 1. Composition and experience of DOGE agents. One of the most overlooked elements in the report is the inexperience of the agents that Musk is tasked with hiring. The report suggests that many of these agents lack governmental experience, which raises significant concerns about their ability to effectively audit and manage complex federal agencies like the FBI, CIA, and the Pentagon. This lack of experience could lead to misinterpretations of agency functions, inappropriate assessments of efficiency, and potentially harmful decisions that could adversely impact national security and public welfare. Significance. The inexperience of DOGE agents could undermine the effectiveness of audits and reforms. In agencies where nuanced understanding and expertise are critical, such as intelligence and defense, decisions made by individuals without proper background could have severe consequences. This aspect highlights the potential for mismanagement and the challenges of implementing government efficiency without adequate knowledge and experience. 2. Legal challenges and civil service protections. The legal battles surrounding DOGE's actions are another critical point that might not receive the necessary scrutiny. The report mentions that various court actions have emerged in response to DOGE's initiatives, with judges intervening to block certain actions. For instance, federal judges have ruled against Musk's access to taxpayer records and have temporarily halted the buyout offers to federal workers. Significance. The legal challenges underscore a significant conflict between the executive ambitions of the Trump administration and established legal frameworks designed to protect civil service jobs and the integrity of federal operations. If DOGE continues to operate without regard for these legal boundaries, it could set a dangerous precedent for executive overreach, undermining the rule of law and the protections that ensure a professional and independent civil service. 3. Conflicts of interest. The report briefly touches on potential conflicts of interest arising from Musk's role, particularly concerning the Pentagon, where his companies hold substantial contracts. While Trump downplays these concerns, the implications of such conflicts are profound. Significance: the intertwining of Musk's business interests with government oversight raises ethical questions about accountability and transparency. If DOGE's audits lead to decisions that favor Musk's companies or undermine competitors, it could erode public trust in government operations. The potential for corruption or favoritism, particularly in agencies managing vast budgets, poses a threat not only to fairness in government contracting but also to national security. 4. Impact on federal programs and workforce. The aggressive dismantling of various federal programs, especially diversity initiatives, as noted in the report, indicates a broader agenda that could reshape federal priorities. Critics, including Democrats and labor unions, have expressed concerns over the implications of these actions on equity and inclusion within government workforces. Significance: the removal of diversity programs in particular could lead to a less inclusive federal workforce, which may not accurately reflect the demographics of the nation. This could hinder the government's ability to effectively serve diverse communities and address their specific needs. Moreover, the targeting of such programs could be seen as part of a broader ideological war that disregards the importance of representation and equity in government. 5. A public and political response. Finally, the report highlights the opposition from Democratic lawmakers and labor unions who are staging protests and attempting to legally challenge DOGE's actions. However, the reaction from the public and broader political ramifications are less emphasized. Significance: the public response to DOGE's initiatives could have far-reaching effects on future elections and the political landscape in the U.S. If the administration's efforts are perceived as overreaching or detrimental to public services, it could galvanize opposition and lead to significant electoral consequences for the Republican Party in upcoming elections. Furthermore, the report indicates that the opposition is not merely procedural but represents deeper societal divides regarding the role of government and the future of federal employment. Conclusion. In summary, the establishment of the Department of Government Efficiency under Elon Musk is emblematic of broader shifts in governance underscored by significant implications for legal integrity, workforce diversity, and the potential for conflicts of interest. The inexperience of DOGE agents, ongoing legal challenges, and aggressive dismantling of federal programs all signal a transformative period that could reshape the federal landscape in ways that may not serve the public interest. Recognizing these subtler yet critical aspects is essential for understanding the full ramifications of this initiative on American governance and society. 1. Musk's role and influence. Elon Musk's appointment to lead the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE) has raised significant concerns regarding the merging of business interests with governmental oversight. The fact that Musk's companies such as SpaceX have multi-billion-dollar contracts with the Pentagon poses a potential conflict of interest. Critics argue that Musk's inexperience in government operations and his aggressive approach to dismantling federal programs could lead to detrimental outcomes for essential services. This situation highlights the challenges and risks associated with appointing business leaders to governmental roles, particularly when their corporate interests intersect with public service. 2. Aggressive audits and legal challenges. DOGE's rapid audits and the dismantling of various federal initiatives, particularly diversity programs, have sparked widespread protests and legal challenges from unions and Democratic lawmakers. The aggressive tactics employed by DOGE, including the proposed shutdown of the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID) and the scrutiny of the Department of Education, indicate a significant shift in U.S. governance. The legal pushback, including temporary restraining orders issued by federal judges, illustrates the contentious nature of this initiative and raises questions about the balance of power between the executive branch and the judiciary. 3. Public and political response. The establishment of DOGE has polarized public and political opinion. Supporters of Trump and Musk view the initiative as a necessary step to eliminate waste and inefficiencies in government, while opponents argue that it undermines civil service protections and could jeopardize national security. The protests organized by Democrats and labor unions reveal a deepening divide in American politics, with many viewing DOGE as an embodiment of the broader ideological struggle over the role of government. This response also underscores the potential implications for future governance, as similar initiatives might provoke further public dissent and legal challenges. For transparency and accountability issues, the lack of transparency regarding DOGE's operations has raised significant concerns among lawmakers and the public. Many details about the agency's actions, including the criteria for audits and the qualifications of its members, remain unclear. This opacity has fueled accusations that DOGE operates outside the bounds of established legal frameworks, particularly in terms of accessing sensitive taxpayer data. The ongoing legal battles and the mixed messages from the Trump administration regarding potential conflicts of interest highlight the need for greater accountability in government initiatives, especially those led by private sector figures like Musk. 1. The Reconstruction period 1865 to 1877. After the American Civil War, the U.S. faced the challenge of integrating millions of freed slaves into society and rebuilding the South. The Reconstruction Acts were passed, leading to the establishment of the Freedmen's Bureau, which aimed to provide assistance to former slaves. However, this period was marked by significant political conflict, including resistance from Southern states, widespread corruption, and challenges in implementing reforms. Ultimately, federal efforts to ensure civil rights were met with violent opposition, and many reforms were rolled back, leading to the establishment of Jim Crow laws. 2. The New Deal era 1933 to 1939. In response to the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt launched the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms aimed at revitalizing the U.S. economy. The New Deal included the creation of numerous agencies such as the Civilian Conservation Corps (CCC) and the Works Progress Administration (WPA), which aimed to provide jobs and stimulate economic growth. While the New Deal faced opposition from various political factions who criticized its size, scope, and impact on government spending, it ultimately transformed the relationship between the federal government and American citizens, establishing a precedent for federal involvement in economic and social welfare. 3. The Watergate Scandal 1972 to 1974. The Watergate scandal involved a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and subsequent cover-up efforts by members of President Richard Nixon's administration. As investigations unfolded, it became clear that there were widespread abuses of power and violations of civil liberties associated with the Nixon administration. The scandal led to a significant loss of public trust in government, culminating in Nixon's resignation in 1974. The Watergate scandal prompted reforms in campaign finance and government transparency, as well as increased scrutiny of executive power. The establishment of the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE) under Elon Musk, as directed by President Trump, heralds a pivotal shift in the U.S. government's operational landscape. As the initiative unfolds, its implications could ripple through various sectors, affecting governance, agency efficiency, and civil service protections. Here are some key predictions regarding the future outlook. 1. Increased political polarization. The ambitious agenda of DOGE is likely to exacerbate existing political divides in the U.S. as Musk's team targets federal agencies for budget cuts and restructuring. Opposition from Democrats and labor unions will intensify. Legal challenges will continue to mount, leading to heightened tensions between the administration and opposition parties. The fallout from these confrontations could result in a more fragmented political climate, with both sides mobilizing their bases for upcoming elections. 2. Legal and institutional turmoil. As DOGE moves forward with its mandate, the legal battles surrounding its actions will likely escalate. Courts may become increasingly involved in determining the legality of Musk's initiatives, particularly regarding access to sensitive data and the dismantling of established programs. This could create a protracted period of institutional uncertainty, with federal agencies caught in limbo as they navigate ongoing litigation and executive directives. 3. Transformation of federal employment. The introduction of aggressive buyout offers and personnel changes could fundamentally alter the federal workforce landscape. An influx of inexperienced personnel, as seen with DOGE, may lead to significant operational disruptions within key agencies like the FBI, CIA, and Pentagon. The potential exodus of seasoned employees could result in a loss of institutional knowledge, impacting the effectiveness of these agencies in fulfilling their national security and intelligence mandates. 4. Impact on public services and social programs. With DOGE's focus on identifying waste and fraud, many social programs and public services, including those offered through USAID and the Department of Education, may face significant cuts or restructuring. This could lead to a decline in the quality and accessibility of services for vulnerable populations, sparking public outcry and grassroots movements advocating for the restoration of funding and support. 5. Conflicts of interest and ethical concerns. Musk's dual role as a government contractor and head of DOGE raises serious ethical questions. The potential for conflicts of interest, particularly regarding Pentagon contracts, may draw scrutiny from watchdog groups and lawmakers. This could lead to calls for stricter regulations governing the interplay between government oversight and private industry, potentially reshaping how federal contracts are awarded and monitored in the future. 6. Innovation and efficiency gains. On a more optimistic note, DOGE's mandate may lead to genuine efficiency improvements within federal agencies. If successful in its audits, the initiative could uncover outdated practices and streamline operations, ultimately resulting in cost savings. This could pave the way for a government that operates with more agility and responsiveness to the needs of citizens. 7. Public sentiment and trust in government. The aggressive tactics employed by DOGE may erode public trust in government institutions. As citizens witness the dismantling of familiar programs and agencies, discontent could grow, leading to increased scrutiny of the administration's motives. Conversely, if Musk's team is perceived as effectively addressing waste and corruption, it could foster a sense of accountability and transparency, albeit amidst a backdrop of controversy. 8. Future of civil service protections. The actions of DOGE may prompt a re-evaluation of civil service protections in the U.S. If Musk's team successfully navigates legal challenges and implements sweeping changes, there could be a push to revise existing laws governing federal employment. This could lead to a more flexible workforce model, but it may also undermine job security for federal employees, triggering a backlash from labor organizations. 9. Long-term policy shifts. The outcomes of DOGE's initiatives could have lasting implications for U.S. policy, particularly regarding government size and scope. If successful, it might inspire similar movements in future administrations, potentially leading to a paradigm shift in how federal agencies operate and are funded. This could set a precedent for further privatization and deregulation efforts, reshaping the role of government in American life. 10. National security implications. The focus on efficiency at agencies like the CIA and Pentagon raises concerns about national security. Rapid personnel changes and operational restructuring could hinder these agencies' ability to respond to emerging threats. A potential decrease in intelligence capabilities may have far-reaching consequences both domestically and internationally, affecting the U.S.'s standing on the global stage. In conclusion, the future of DOGE and its impact on the U.S. government is poised to be contentious and transformative. As the initiative unfolds, the balance between efficiency, accountability, and the protection of civil rights will be critical in shaping American governance for years to come. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether this ambitious project leads to meaningful reform or deepening divisions within the fabric of federal service.